Hey, comic book community, Longbox Love Affair here. Happy quarantine. Hope everybody's staying safe and sound. I have a haul of books that I bought since being captured in the house. And I just have been finding some deals, and I made a trade, bought some things on Instagram, trying to support the community. So I'm just going to go through what I've bought. It's a whole bunch of random crap. And I say crap in a loving, affectionate way. These are all books I'm excited for. They fit unique parts of my collection. I've been kind of wandering a little aimless. I deleted my list of comics I needed on my phone on accident at a convention. I had it open, must have walked around, pressed the delete button, I can't recover it. But that said, there's nothing on there that I really was pressed to have. I finished my ASM collection. Looking at some Silver Age keys, but frankly, those are a bit far off for me at this point, especially being conservative with the economy the way it is. So who knows? But I am buying books I love, books that I may already have, or slabs that are signed, or what have you. So case in point is this New Mutants 99. That's right? Sunspot leaves the team. It is a 9.8, and it is signed by Rob Liefeld. And it's not just signed in a black pen, it is signed in silver, which is pretty cool. I got a pretty decent deal on this on eBay because the slab is semi-cracked. There's a little crack here, and there's a little crack elsewhere. It is not damaging the inner well. I can probably get this reslabbed pretty easily and not affect the yellow label. So I figured it was worth it. It is an old slab too. It's one of the old CGC small slabs. So I may get this reslabbed in the near future. And speaking of CGC, I have my books back from the grader, the first batch, and I'm thinking of sending those off and just having them do their thing since CGC is open during this time. And so New Mutants 99, and happy to have that. And then one of the other books I got is another old slab, and it's New Mutants 88, the second appearance of Cable. It has Rob Liefeld's signature right there, 9.8. I figured I'm going to try to get all of the New Mutants books slabbed in his signature, if those exist, in high grade. I have 87, I have 98, all near mint, 9.8 signed. And my 87, as you saw in my last slab video, my 87 has a remark of Cable on it, one of my favorite characters. These books were untouchable when I collected back in the early 90s. They had just come out, X-Force 1 had just come out, and Liefeld was at the top of his game. Love him or hate him, he was hot stuff then. So just it's more nostalgia for me to get those books in grades and signed, and I just love the covers. They're different. It's what I'm into. This is an old book, very different than anything else in this collection. Magnus Robot Fighter #1. I found this for about 20 bucks on eBay. Good deal. It's really worn. It's a really shoddy copy. I knew that, but for 20 bucks, I figured I'd get this. It's a book I never thought I would ever have. I was a big Valiant fan back in the 90s. You're noting that thing where I'm being pretty nostalgic about stuff. But Magnus Robot Fighter #1, just a cool Gold Key comic book. I don't even know when this came out, the 60s maybe? But the numbering was always so weird. They have this number on the cover, 10046-302, but this is issue #1. I don't know what the hell they were doing with their numbering system. Maybe one of you knows what the heck was going on with that. But just excited to have this book in the collection now. Also, some eBay purchases. This one dealer, one of the things I love doing on eBay is when I can get books combined shipping, so that you're not paying as much for all your books because you're getting them combined. So I bought one set of about, let's see, this many books. and decided that he had some other books and he threw them in, and it was a decent price. Shipping was a little expensive, but in the end, that's okay. So these are Darkhawk books, but I really bought it for this book, the Darkhawk 13 Venom cover, and it's a newsstand. And I spied it on the page and thought that the condition was really good, and it is. There are no spine ticks, maybe one very minor one, and maybe some very minor imperfections with the cover. I can get this cover pressed and probably have close to a 9.8, definitely a 9.6. This is one of my favorite Venom covers. Mike Manley did a really cool job. This is when Eric Larson took Venom and made him a slobbering mess. And it's what I loved about collecting. I remember this book coming out. I had copies of this up until maybe a year ago. So I'm glad to have this back in the collection. That's the reason I bought this set. But the added bonus is this set is all newsstands. And so these are hard to find. Low prints, 33. I'll just hold them up like this. 34. Annual 2. 22. 12, 15, 24, 29, and 32. And these are high grade newsstands. So since I've been into the newsstands lately, I figured that'd be a good investment of my time and energy. And I threw in 3 more newsstands of New Mutants. I know, I'm obsessed with this. I promise there's no more New Mutants in this set. So I got a newsstand of 96, 95. Some of these aren't in the best of condition. 95 is in pretty good condition. It's probably near mint. 97 and 93, which this one is probably very fine. So not too bad. I pick them up if I can find them on the cheap. All right. Next batch of books is an Instagram purchase. I think it's Help Me Find My Keys. Was selling a bunch of books. That's his handle on Instagram. And I found some good deals. And I didn't look too closely at the conditions. Some of the conditions on some of the newsstands that I bought is a little lower than I wanted, but hey, it's okay. It worked out. So I picked up a copy of Solar 60, which is the final issue. This is a hard one to find. It's always missing in the bins. So this is a second copy for me. Picked this one up again, Avengers 12, for a decent price. And it's just a super cool Infinity Gauntlet cover. I had this back a while ago. I sold it as a set, and then obviously this became hot. So this is a near mint copy back in my collection. Picked up 2 copies of Amazing Spider-Man 360. This is the disputed Carnage cameo on the back page, or ad. These are all near mint copies. He had 3, and I asked, I think 3 or 4 of them, and these were the first books I saw. So usually it's, if I can find something worth my while to keep shopping, I'll probably buy more. So these were the 2 that I found and decided I'll pick up some other things while we're at it. For about $2 or so bucks, I got this newsstand Warlock and the Infinity Watch. It's a little bit more banged up than I originally was looking for. It has maybe 4 significant spine color breaking creases, but that's typical for this issue. This is one of the early issues I ever owned of Warlock, and you all know I love him. So I still looking for a near mint copy, but this one will do for $2. Why not? And then every time I find X-Men Jim Lee covers in newsstand, I will pick them up. So nice X-Men 252. It is fine to very fine, so they're not near mint by any means. 254, this is not Jim Lee, but he threw this in. 258, they got some Mandarin action going on. 260. 261, very early Jim Lee on this. 264, the Magistrates. 269, I didn't realize that the cover was folding over on this one for the spine, so that's too bad. Otherwise, decent issue. And then newsstand copies of Infinity War 3 and 4. And regular copy of number 5. I was looking for a higher copy because this is the one that got dinged on when I CGC'd it. This one's not going to take that place, but I figured I'd just pick it up. And then made a trade with another guy on Instagram for some of the comics that I had for sale. And so the trade originally was for these 2 issues, Ultimate Spider-Man 33 and 60, Carnage and Venom appearance. This is the first Ultimate Venom. It's a little banged up, more so than I thought it was at the corner, but, you know, still glad to have this back in the collection. I did have it. I don't think I have it anymore. I haven't seen it. So just cool to have. Mark Bagley was supposed to come to DC May 1st for AwesomeCon. That has since been rescheduled to December, and it's unclear if they are still having the same guest list. So my goal was to have Mark Bagley sign this. I might have to look for a 9/8 copy because I think I'm going to be picky about that. But that's just me. But I'm still happy to have this one, so thanks. And then he threw in Spider-Man 128 and Astonishing number 2, which is a super cool Emma Frost cover there with Cyclops I-beams. So that's my quarantine haul. I'm still looking around. I'm trying not to buy too much, but CGC books are really what interests me right now. I do have a sale on eBay. Selling some Savage Dragon books. I'm trying to sell the set I have, so check that out if you haven't seen that. And if you don't follow me on eBay, you can click that like the seller button. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you can. And you can follow me there on same screen name on eBay and Instagram, Long Box Love Affair, all one word. So check it out. Thanks everyone for watching. Again, stay safe. Great to have you watching the videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.